they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams.
All right. Hold on, everybody. Hold on just a second. All right. So, hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Sunday Vitamins. Okay. Y'all have to excuse me. I was getting my tea together. Okay. So, with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Okay. Let's see who's in here. All right, Leon is here, Buckhorse CC, Sandra, Khalid. All right, let's get into it. OJ, Patrice, Anita Harrell. All right, shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Everyone, please do me a favor and hit that like button. I see you, Cookie. Most hated bronze flap her God is in the house. All right, Deronda. So let's get into it, Terry. Okay, Andrea is in the house. Alberta is here. Overthoughts. Okay, great. All right, so let's get into it. Hey, Latasha, my aunt Egypt. Okay, so before we get started, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. All right, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, it seems like this microphone is extra loud. Hold on. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay. I hope that's better. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Now, everybody, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur. Also on X at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay? So let's get into it. Now, how does the audio sound, you guys? How's this audio sound? Because for some reason, it sounds really loud to me. Is the audio okay? Once if the audio is okay. Please let me know before we get started. Okay, so the audio is okay. It's not too loud. Okay, great. All right, thank you. All right, so let's get into it because a whole lot of hating is going on, guys. Whole lot of hating is going on. So I wanted to get into this because you all already know what starts tomorrow. Okay, not only is it Cinco de Mayo, but tomorrow Diddy's trial starts. So they're going to be having jury selection. They're going to be having jury selection. Okay, so I want to talk about Shedeur, Shiloh, Antonio Brown hating, and Cam Newton, which was really interesting to me because Cam Newton has been called arrogant himself, but it seems like he had a whole lot to say. Okay, it seems like he had a whole lot to say, and he just really sounds like a hypocrite. So let's get into it because he was talking about how he didn't like Shedeur's body language. Is he serious? All right, so hey, hot cocoa. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so here we go. Now, former NFL MVP number one pick, okay, on Shedeur Sanders. He says, I've got to hold him accountable. So everyone seems to have an opinion about former Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. You know, they talked about him slipping to the fifth round of the 2025 NFL draft. And, you know, there was plenty of people that had comments about it. And one of them was Cam Newton, who recently offered his thoughts on Shedeur Sanders. Okay, so Cam Newton, who had plenty of confidence in himself when he played during his days, he shared that he isn't a fan of the attitude that Shedeur Sanders has. Don't y'all find that interesting? Don't you all find that interesting? Sam Harris says truth are not opinions. Okay. Overthought said Cam and Antonio would give anything to still be playing. Okay. But let's continue. So anyway, here's what he says. He says, Shedeur, like, first off, I've got to hold him accountable. Travis Hunter is what we would think Shedeur is supposed to be. Travis Hunter is polished like a quarterback. Shedeur has always got this mean mug on his face. Okay, Hunter, who started alongside Sanders in Colorado, was picked number 2 overall by the Jacksonville Jaguars in this year's draft. Now, meanwhile, Sanders went from being a projected first-round pick to slipping to the 5th round. Newton added that he also isn't a fan of Sanders' body language or his celebration that includes flashing his watch. He says, I've met Shedeur multiple times. He's always like in character. And then finally, he added that he isn't completely sold on Sanders as a quarterback. Yes, he put up impressive stats in college, but his Buffaloes finished 13-12 across 2 seasons. My first thing with Shedeur is like, what performance can you hang your hat on in college, Cam says. Okay, so Newton isn't the only former NFL star to criticize Sanders recently. Now, Pro Football Hall of Famer Chris Carter recently spoke on the Fully Loaded podcast and said that Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders were largely to blame for the slide. He said Shedeur and his family, they overplayed their hand. Them thinking that he was in the same evaluation mode as Eli Manning, they didn't play that right. Them trying to narrow the teams that he was going to go to, that didn't do right. Not working out at the combine, that wasn't the right thing. His interview process obviously could have done a lot better than that. He doesn't have a big time arm. He's not a big guy. He's not overly athletic. So his measurables are not just round measurables or not first round measurables. Now, Carter went on to acknowledge that Shedeur Sanders is a talented quarterback, but he also pointed out that it takes more than talent to be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. He says, you don't play football all the time. You're a human being the rest of the time. And how you're going to be in the locker room, how he already came up with his line of merchandise, legendary. Like he's already calling himself legendary. All those things are problems. I want y'all to pay attention. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that? He said that these sort of things are problems. Well, let me tell you what I think about that. Okay, Overthought says Chris Carter isn't on ESPN anymore because he's a drunk. Everybody making these comments is tap dancing to get back right. LOL. Well, here's the thing. They probably are tap dancing, but at the end of the day, they're just haters too. The thing is, for him to try to criticize this young man for starting his own line of merchandise, okay, what's wrong with that? You see, this is what you do when you're a leader. Okay, Sharon just became a member. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. You see, here's the thing. What you do, what Shedeur is doing, shall I say, is he's establishing himself as a leader. You know, do you all know that this young man has already made his presence known down there in Cleveland? He's gone down there and gone to the high school. He's spoken to the students. He's told them that he wants to take them to the Super Bowl. I mean, these children, these teenagers are inspired by him. He's already staking his claim. See, I'm gonna tell you something. At the end of the day, what will likely happen? I'm pretty sure he's definitely going to be starting for the Browns, even though they have other quarterbacks. I'm pretty sure he's the one that's going to be starting. And also, if he isn't the one that's going to be starting, the people are going to want him to be starting because he's already gotten their attention. Okay, he's being talked about more than anybody else that was drafted. And not to mention him going to the high school. Do you know how excited those kids were to see him show up? Do you know how impressed they are by that? They're all going to be rooting for him. Okay, please pay attention. Now, mind you, the fact that he went to the school, there was one Cleveland radio host personality who had all this negative stuff to say. He basically tried to act as though Shedeur was clout chasing and that he had it all filmed and then posted it on social media, but he didn't know what he was talking about because quite frankly, Shedeur didn't post anything on social media, nor did he ask anyone to. Okay, someone else posted that without him even knowing it. Okay, but so this is just how people are trying to find something to complain about. There's a lot of these haters are just hoping for him to fail. Okay, that's what they're doing. And then, you know, what I find interesting, like I said, Cam was called arrogant many a times. And one of the people who, in fact, called him arrogant was Shannon Sharp. Okay, it was Shannon Sharp. And matter of fact, let's go to some of the articles. I'm not going to read them, but I'm just going to show you. I may read a couple of lines from one of them, perhaps, but I just want to show you some of the headlines about Cam Newton. This is why he sounds like a hypocrite. Cam Newton responds to Shannon Sharp calling him arrogant. Okay? It wasn't just Shannon. He was called that by a myriad of people a myriad of times. Okay, here's another one. And he should be able to relate to Shedeur, to the fact that people are calling him arrogant, saying he's brash and comparing him to his father and all of that. Because he should absolutely understand how that feels. Because here's another headline. Is Cam Newton actually arrogant or is it just racial bias? Okay. Truth Over Everything says they saying that Shedeur is just an extremely accurate quarterback like it's a bad thing. Right. You know, here's the thing. If I were a coach, I would want a player who is confident, whether some people think it's arrogance or not. I would want somebody like that because if you're sure of yourself, you're likely going to feel like you have something to prove for the naysayers. Okay? All crazy to me. It's like people are literally just trying to find reasons to complain. That's what it seems like to me. Okay? So, and here's another one. I could go on all day, but I'm just going to show this one more. Just to bring my point home. Cam Newton, who are you to say that this young man is arrogant and you don't like his style and this, that, and the third? You see this? Arrogance and sexism are costing Cam Newton more than yogurt. All right, so I think you get the point at the end of the day. It just seems like there's a whole lot of hating going on. Okay? That's what it seems like to me. Now, I'm going to go to some of the footage of what people had to say. First, I want to pull up when Shedeur went to the high school. Shedeur Sanders visited Cleveland High School. Yeah, let me go to this clip. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm just going to turn on some music also because I'm going to be playing some of these clips and I don't want any copyright issues.
Where do you think Dion ranking you right now on the Suns? Just be thankful that you have an opportunity, because during the process, all I want, was okay. So I'm trying to work on like keep nobody else, because nobody gonna be there when you gotta pay rent. You feel me? When you got all these different type of problems, it depends on your situation or anything. But the older you get, the more problems, and you gonna understand what real life is, and it's pros and cons to it. So I would say enjoy the time that you're in right now, but don't enjoy it too much, because so you can set yourself up for success. What do you think? What's the number one thing God would like? Oh, when I did that, I just felt disrespected at the time. My dad's who he is, and I'm gonna be who I am regardless. I'm always gonna be his son. So it was like, I looked at it and I shifted my thoughts to just feeling like, okay, that's negative, like that's positive. That's why I'd be happy. It's like, oh, if people say, oh, you did this because I'm thankful my dad took the opportunity to do what he was supposed to do. So I don't ever feel shame or feel anything like that. How's everybody doing? So I just got to Cleveland. I just got here yesterday. I just wanted to come out and see y'all. We working out every day. We got a purpose. We got something we trying to accomplish and achieve. But what inspires me to keep going, I would say, knowing I got a lot of people watching me, knowing that I'm a positive influence to the youth. That's why I say what keeps me going. So like, even coming here seeing y'all, it's not like I have to do anything. I choose to do it. You got two ways you could go about it. You could do what you want to do, not listen and see how it pan out, or you could listen to somebody that got your best interest, that wants the best for you, and then go down that route. So everybody has free will in this room, and everything may be fun and games now, but whenever real life hit, I don't think it's gonna be that funny if you don't set yourself up the right way. I'm trying to bring Cleveland, of course, a Super Bowl. But that's on the field, of course. But off the field is, of course, making the city, like, bringing more hope, bringing more positivity to it, and just having an avenue that we able to directly, communicate with the youth, and whatever y'all questions or problems that y'all going through. In the free time, we could just be a mentor for real. So that's what I want to do off the field, is be like more mentor and be more connected with you younger generation, with you younger kids.
All right, well, you all heard that. Now, please pay attention, because at the end of the day, This young man sounds humble to me. Okay. He sounds very humble to me. Now, let me read some of the comments. Omowale the elder says, Shedeur Sanders is the son of Deion Sanders, and this young man is going to make his mark in the world. He is destined for greatness. So the haters can continue to hate, but it won't affect anything. This is absolutely true. I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, this young man has confidence because that's what his father has taught him. All right. And he is humble. What are they talking about? He has no humility. Of course he does. Only a hater can't see that because they're too busy hating. Okay, Odd Negroes official says, wow, super intelligent and mindful. Good role model traits. Absolutely. Okay, so that all been said, let me go to this video of Cam Newton. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. And oh my goodness, when I saw Antonio Brown posting that old arse video, I'm like, what does he think he's doing? Okay, please make it all make sense. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, we're going to go to... Okay, yeah, here it is right here. Wake up call. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. I'm sorry. Trying to get my receipts together. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen.
This was boycotted by this or blackballed by the league for not allowing you to get in. He got Colin Kaepernick, but that's subjective. I had an aura.
3 signs your car accident is worth major compensation. If you've been in a car accident recently,
That came with the Cam Newton name. Mm-hmm. And some would say, is that greater than what will come with him?
Correct.
Can his skill supersede his aura?
Yeah.
And teams were not willing to take that chance. Mm-hmm. And that's something as a man that I have to live with.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, man, the league corrupt or this person is bad about that. It's like, no, bro, that there's unspoken rules about being in corporate. There's unspoken rules that goes with being a franchise quarterback. And Shedeur, you were a person that, contrary to what many may think, was an example to say, like, hold on, some liked it, some loved it, and some didn't even want to associate themselves with it because there's so many things that you have to ask. If we draft you, will it be a circus in the locker room?
Yeah.
If we draft you, will your father be hands-on and dictating to this organization like what you are and what you're not going to do? Yeah. That's not what we want to subscribe to.
Yeah.
And you've seen it happen in real time. It's extremely unfortunate, but I want to dwell on this. Mm-hmm. You got drafted, bro.
Yeah.
All this is in the past.
Yeah.
Now you can dictate what you deem you to be the person that you know you can be. Legendary.
And I wanted to ask you this. Give him some game, right? As Cam, you don't walk these same shoes. Obviously, you went #1 overall. But right now, if you're Shedeur Sanders, walking in Cleveland in the Browns facility, what are some tips that you would give him? What would you be doing right now to change that stereotype or that narrative? Like, how would you act? How would you go about winning over this franchise, winning over your teammates, and implementing a new change in this aura, this persona of Shedeur Sanders?
Shedeur Sanders, this message is directed to you. Lead with work, not clout. I'll say it again. Lead with work, not clout. Lead with you're working to be the starting quarterback to a unproven quarterback room. This is a great situation for Shedeur.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying?
It was looking like a question mark to me, but I want to hear your take on that.
No. This is a great situation here, because it's not like he's going into a quarterback room, no matter whoever was drafted.
Yeah.
I look at a quarterback room that everybody's even and everybody's equal. So if you legendary, like you say you are, this is how you prove it. Don't lead with the chains. Don't lead with the cars. Don't lead with the aura of content and this, that. Man, if you want to win people over, you win them over by working. You win them over by knowing what you're supposed to do and what others are supposed to do as a quarterback. Not this, not the cameras, not it's, man, we working. What we working at today?
Okay, first of all, now if we're just being honest, what Cam is saying is absolutely right. But I'm sorry, Shedeur already got the memo for that. Y'all don't think Deion's already told him that you lead with work? Y'all don't think that Deion already gave him the game? At the end of the day, if you want to call it showboating or whatever you want to call it, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're doing your part, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do. Deion did it. Plenty of them do it. Cam's sitting up here talking about the young man showing his watch. Okay, that's his celebratory thing he does when they're winning or when he scores a touchdown. What's the problem? Cam, you didn't do anything like that. Cam was sitting up there. Let me tell y'all something. First and foremost, Cam was sitting up there looking like somebody's auntie. Okay, so Cam, you're going to sit here and try to critique this young man. You got to be a whole hypocrite talking about you don't like his body language, but you're sitting up here looking like my auntie. Is that what you're doing? Yeah. Okay, I find it all interesting. Now, lawyer said Cam is right on this point. Well, of course he's right on this point, but the point is this is common sense, lawyer. Okay, this is common sense. Do you think that Shedeur needs Cam or anybody else other than his father? Because his father's already told him this. We've all heard his father, how he talks to his sons and what he's told them when he was coaching them in Colorado. We already know this. What he's been telling them their whole lives when he's coached them. Every time they played, he was there coaching them. So we already know that he knows you have to lead with work. We know he knows that it's not about a clout chase. He has been leading with work. That's why he's in the NFL, whether he was picked 5th round or not. So Cam just needs to sit down somewhere, like I said, dressing like my auntie or somebody, okay? He looks ridiculous, okay? At the end of the day, he's talking about, you know, the stuff he's saying about this young man's watch. We could say that about his gear. James Allen said Cam ain't right. He's gaslighting. He's definitely doing that too, okay? He's definitely doing that too. All right. Truth Over Everything says Cam got too many baby mamas and babies to be wealthy like Deion or Shedeur. Shedeur probably already richer than Cam. It's jealousy. It is jealousy because it was just a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. But Cam already admitted that he's going broke. Didn't he already say that he ran through his earnings that he made at the NFL? So yeah, there is an element of jealousy. One of the reasons that some people are jealous, in my opinion, is because Deion Sanders, or not Deion, but Shedeur and Shiloh, they didn't have to struggle. They didn't come from meager means. They didn't have to struggle. They didn't come from the hood and all of that. And so they feel like, oh, they didn't get it from the mud. Everything was handed to them. Well, the bottom line is they still had to put in work. Okay? They still had to put in work. So, like I said, this is all, look at Cam wearing a top hat. Come on now. That's not showboating. What in the hell's this? Well, Cam, what are you wearing? But you're talking about the young man's watch. Please make it all make sense. Okay, DJ Big Six says Shedeur Sanders really could be the president. Okay, our Negroes official said he's too busy shopping, okay? Boring Diva says all them baby mamas and he trying to give advice. He a fool. Our Negroes official said he better sell them hats, okay? Overthought said, "Fools getting it out the mud popular. Our white counterparts don't have to get it out the mud." Exactly. Okay. And so anyway, and here's the thing. Like I said, it really doesn't matter what Shedeur does. Some people are always going to find the negative, because they were even going in on him about his merchandise selling out. Okay. His legendary brand. It literally was sold out on the website as of Wednesday. His jersey went from number 3 to number 1. I reported to you all right after the draft that it was number 3. And now it's number 1. The last I checked. Okay. So, he's already making his rounds in Cleveland. Now, with that all being said, let's listen to a couple of more minutes of maybe 2 more minutes of Cam, and then I'm going to the next video. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, because I would have expected that Cam would have been a bit more empathetic. Okay. Lawyer said, problem with the Browns football team is they don't have an OL nor wide receiver. What is that? I can't read that. Or wide receivers. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's go back to the video. Lights up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
Hey, coach. Hey, man, I need to get in this book, man. Hey, dog, I need to understand what's my sight adjust. I need to understand all my formations. I need to understand my protections. I need to understand what my slot receiver is supposed to do if we're hot off these 2 individual defenders. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lead with work, not clout. Do not, and I'll say this again to add the 3 to the third one. Do not play the victim. Because if you would take your situation and you would ask somebody else who would have wanted to be drafted the 144th pick, you got thousands of players that would have said, man, draft me, Cleveland.
Just give me a shot.
Just give me.
Okay, I've heard about enough, because at the end of the day, he never played the victim. He was beyond thrilled to be picked. He also said, even before being picked the 144th, that the numbers didn't matter. So what the hell is Cam talking about? Has he been listening to anything the young man has said? Obviously not. Sounds like he's only been listening to the haters and naysayers. But let's continue, because this is a video with clips of different people responding to or giving their thoughts and opinions on Shedeur in the first week in the NFL, okay? And there's even some extras. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I am going to go to some of the clips of what certain people had to say. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Cam, thanks for your advice, but please have several seats, sir. Okay, here we go.
This is my route.
What's your mindset heading into this organization with that mini camp around the corner and the anticipated quarterback competition for that starting role in this upcoming season?
Get there and handle my business. Do what I have to do. Whatever role that is. I'm just thankful for an opportunity, so that's all I can ask for. The rest is on me.
You said earlier that you want people here with the Browns to see the real you.
The real me, I'm definitely going to be able to show it with actions. Then I'll be more involved in, the community and really the leading the kids in the right direction. That's the main thing. So that's where you'll see the most impact there. And, of course, within the building, how I make everybody feel comfortable and them understand I'm here to prove it.
Going in the 5th round, do you come into the league feeling like you have a lot to prove, even though you try to stay pretty positive and above the negativity?
Yeah, of course. It's just proving Coach Stefanski and Mr. Berry that they're right. They're right about picking me.
Shedeur, do you have any regrets about anything in the pre-draft process?
Do I have any regrets? I feel like in life, it's always a way I can improve. And some things that, I could have done at the time that seemed right at the time, I could have went about it a different way. After we watched, the first, second round go by, and my name wasn't called or anything, it was okay. All we need is opportunity.
Now I want you all to really pay attention to what the young man just said. Did you all hear that? When he asked him, is there anything that he regrets? He didn't say that he regretted anything, but he did say that after he saw his name wasn't called in the first and second round, and then thinking back on it, there were some things that he could have handled a different way. You see how he's self-reflecting? You see how he's self-reflecting? Yes, Leon said he's very positive. Yes, he is. How can you not like him? If you don't like this young man, you're a hater, and that's just a fact. You are a hater if you do not like Shedeur, Shiloh, or Dion. It's a fact. These are men of God. They always keep God first. You can tell. They always says God has their back. They're always talking about God. They're always trying to be humble by thanking people, being grateful, and showing gratitude. Okay? And gratitude is a mindset. Okay? At the end of the day, they uplift and inspire other people. And even in the face of adversity, or when people are being hateful towards them or talking down on them, they still take the high road. Now, would an arrogant person do that? I don't think so. It's just a whole lot of hating going on, and I think it's sad, but let's continue.
What would it mean for you to come to Cleveland and potentially work your way into becoming this franchise's long-lost franchise quarterback?
I'm a Sanders, so it's always going to be expectations regardless of what pick I am.
Did that prank phone call, did that not get to you, or how do you feel about the person who did that to you? What impact did that have on you when that happened today?
It didn't really have no impact on me, because it was just like, okay, you seen on Deion Jr.'s well-off YouTube video, my reaction to it. This is what it is. Of course, I feel like it was a childish act, but everybody do childish things here and there, so. There was a lot of talk throughout the pre-draft process that you were, brash and arrogant, and that you were not interviewing well. Did any of those things actually happen? I think what happened was I had a great interview just with the Browns, and that's why they was able to pick me. Anything outside the organization is really a non-factor to me now, because this was my focus and this was where my mind is doing everything I can to make the team better. Everything outside of that, it doesn't really.
If he's conducting himself seriously and he has more talent than Dylan Gabriel, or he shows more promise than Kenny Pickett, he ain't going anywhere, folks. He ain't going anywhere. You know how bad he has to be in training camp? I mean, this isn't Alex Tanney. Think about some of the guys that you've had in camp before. This isn't that. He leads in jersey sales. He is a star. So I gotta get my head out of the clouds here and be honest and go, he's going to be given every opportunity to make this football team.
How do you think he will handle the immense pressure? I mean, the network alone is going to be at training camp every day, day one. People are already calling for the Browns to be on Hard Knocks. The story is fascinating. Do you think he is built to handle all that?
If anybody is, Shedeur is. He's used to this. This is what he grew up in. And when he went to Jackson State, they changed the whole culture. They changed the culture at Colorado. First game he played, he beat TCU, was playing for the national title the previous year. And then, of course, things went awry. It wasn't because of him, it was because of the defense. It's going to be probably overwhelming for a lot of people. It won't be overwhelming for Shedeur.
He'll be this.
Let me say this to you all also. Let me say this. I really want you all to pay attention to this, because this is what I seem to notice. A lot of these men that don't look like Shedeur, that are saying hateful things and all of that, a lot of them, in my opinion, are jealous, because also the fact that Deion has such a strong impact on them, such a strong presence in their life, he really almost dictates certain things. Right? Because they really listen to him. They really respect his advice and his critique. Even though they're adults, they still listen to him as they did when they were younger. And a lot of these men don't like that, because here's the thing. When these people go out and recruit people for college football, and then, when they get drafted into the NFL, these Black players, some of them don't have fathers in the homes. Some of them didn't even have relationships with their fathers. Many of them came from single parent households with mothers. So these white men who are older, they want to instill their influence on them so they can try to groom them to be the person they want them to be, or act the way they want them to act, which is to be humble, which is to bow down to them, which is to take authority from them, not to get out of pocket or out of line, to be too brash with them. not to have too much bravado with them. See, they can mold them that way. And because you know, you're trying to get out of the hood, you want to live this fancy life, and you're promised all of this money and this lavish lifestyle. And so they're willing to do it, and they listen and they bow down. They know they can't do that with them. That's why they hate it. Now, I want you all to think about that, because it's the same exact thing. When you really think about it, it is the same exact thing that happened with Venus and Serena. You see, their father taught them to play tennis. He was their coach. He taught them the things that they, you know, that they used to excel. And remember the interview when the white gentleman was interviewing them when they were girls, they were little girls, right? How you could tell that he didn't like their character, their persona, the way they spoke and were answering the questions. And he said something, I don't remember what he said, but whatever it was, I remember that it pissed off their father. And the father had to check him. You know why the father had to check him? Because he knew that you're only trying to say that about them because they're black. You see, it's something about the fact of when a black person knows who they are, when they stand up, okay, and they speak for themselves, and they're assertive, and they're determined, and they know what they want, and they're not afraid to express it, and they're not going to take any BS, and they let you know it. They don't like that, because who are you? No, you sit down, because we're going to tell you how it goes. You don't tell us what you're going to do. You don't tell us what you're not going to take. We're going to tell you what you're going to do, and we're going to give you whatever we want you to take. That's the attitude. Because just like I expressed to you all days ago, and then you heard other people come back and say it after me, like Godfrey said the same thing, and one of the other sports commentators said the same thing. Remember when I told you all about Archie Manning? Archie Manning was very, very influential in the lives of Peyton and Eli. He specifically said where he wanted them to go and certain things he didn't want them doing, and he put his foot down. Now that that's come back up, in comparison to Deion and his sons, I heard somebody who doesn't look like me, one of the sports commentators, they said something like, well, you know, they tried to make an excuse, you see. They said, well, you know, Archie's sons, wait a minute, it might have even been Cam Newton that said it. But nonetheless, it was a whole hater. But they said something along the lines of Archie Manning knew that his son, I think they were talking about Eli. They said something about Eli, you know, he had the stats, you know, and he was a first round pick. And so they were saying basically because he was a first round pick, his father could say this stuff. His father could feel this way, but Deion can't. So is that why y'all waited until the 5th round? So y'all can have that to fall back on and say, well, you know, I mean, hey, he's not even a first round pick. Who the hell does he think he is telling us what he's going to do? Coming here making demands. He didn't even get picked to 144. He got picked in the 5th round, not the 1st. So how's he going to come in here trying to dictate anything? Is that why y'all did it? Because that's what I think now, that I heard that person say that. Yeah, but Archie, his son was first round pick. That's what they said. So that's supposed to make the difference in how you behave and act. So you're supposed to feel down on yourself if you get picked in the 5th round, and you shouldn't think that you have the right to come in and request certain things or say certain things or give them your thoughts on what you expect or what you feel like you're going to be able to accomplish and what you want to do. So you shouldn't have to say any of that. You shouldn't be able to feel that way if you're picked in the 5th round, not the 1st. Leon said those owners are Trump supporters. Let me tell you something. Those owners don't like Trump. They don't like Trump. At the end of the day, Trump thinks they like him. He probably thinks they like him, like Roger Kraft. Now, he might like Trump because Roger Kraft, that's the one that got caught up in that sting with the S trafficking down there in Mar-a-Lago, okay, a few years ago, back in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Roger Kraft hangs out with Trump. Those other... And I'm glad you brought Trump up because I'm going to say something about him too. You see, those other owners, they don't really like Trump like that. Now, you know, people kiss Trump's butt because they know if they don't, and they know if they piss him off, he'll get you know, his goons and retaliate against them. He'll do stuff like that. But here's the thing. The other day when Trump came out and said, oh, the NBA is stupid or they're dummies for not picking Shedeur in the first round. Well, they are dummies for that. But You know why Trump really said that? Because Trump doesn't like the NFL. Trump is upset because he's been obsessed since 1984. I wouldn't say 1984, but Trump's always been obsessed with being an owner in the NFL. And they wouldn't allow him to. Do you all know? Many people don't even know this. But Trump was so damn desperate to become an owner of the Baltimore Colts back in the day that Trump flat out lied and got convicted of civil fraud. Now, don't ask me why they charged his behind with civil fraud instead of criminal, because it was criminal what he did, but they didn't want to send him to jail because he's Donald Trump and he has the complexion for the protection. But literally, Trump had a property because he was trying to prove to them that he had enough money to purchase a team. And he wanted to show that he had at least $1 billion to spend. So he had this property, as I recall, that he had previously said wasn't worth anything. But then when he wanted to purchase one of the teams, he basically had somebody inflate the cost. Okay, inflate the price of it, like it was worth more than what it was. Okay, and then he got caught. He got caught and he sat there and lied about it. Hold on. Here it is right here. Here's an article about it. How Trump's NFL obsession led to his fraud conviction and presidency. You know, because quite frankly, if Trump had been allowed to purchase one of those teams, there's no way in hell he'd be in the White House. He wouldn't have time. Okay. He wouldn't even be concerned about it. All right. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a damn shame they didn't let him buy one. Yeah, James said they blocked him back in the 80s. Of course they did. But like I said, he also lied and got caught in the lies. Okay, he got caught in the lies and then charged with fraud. Okay, so and he's held a grudge ever since. Y'all know how Trump is. Okay, y'all know how Trump is. Trump's ugly battle with NFL go way back. This is another article. So just for kicks, I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs. Hold on, let's get into it real quick. Okay, there was Pete Rozelle, the NFL's longtime commissioner. There was Donald Trump, Manhattan-based real estate mogul and owner of the New Jersey Generals of the United States Football League, which was its second year. There was Leslie Shupak, senior manager. Okay, I'm going to skip past all that. The meeting was held March of 1984. Concerned Trump's desire to possess an NFL franchise. Although he owned the Generals and spoke publicly of his first love for the USFL, Trump, according to many people who knew him, anxiously wanted to ditch the upstart of the money and fame for the bigger league. Hence, said Shupak, Trump invited Rozelle, a man he knew only casually through scattered social encounters. He invited him to meet. Okay. Now, Shupak says he remembers it well. He said they arrived, and even before Pete couldn't stop talking on a casual basis, Donald Trump starts his diatribe on how great he would be, and talking about Trump himself, how great he would be for the NFL and what it would mean to the NFL to have him as a franchise owner. Donald is going in on his typical style, telling Pete Rozelle at the time what he believes and why he would be wonderful. Okay, it was typical Donald. Rozelle said he couldn't get a word in. Now, according to Shupak, Rozelle, who died in 1996, seemed to be under the impression that Trump extended the invite to discuss relations between the two leagues. When he realized what Trump was really after, he turned cold and blunt. Mr. Trump, Rozelle told him, according to Shupak, as long as I or any of my heirs are involved in the NFL, you will never be a franchise owner in the league. Told him straight to his face. Now, how do you think Trump like that? How do you think Trump like that? Well, I can tell you right now, he didn't like it at all. Okay? So Donald Trump was never a franchise owner in the NFL. When many people first heard the president's comments in Alabama about owners needing to fire those who dared to kneel during the national anthem, they presumed that the word stemmed from racism. They say, no question, Trump has made it plain over the years where he stands, from calling for a return of the death penalty after the arrest of the Central Park Five and continuing to believe in their guilt even after DNA exoneration, to spending 5 years insisting Barack Obama was a Kenyan-born Muslim, and so on and so forth. But yet, if Trump's anti-NFL stance is race-driven, it's also driven by an impulse that is arguably stronger, more personal, and more difficult for him to control in himself. And you know what that is? It's called payback. Okay, so that's all that is, honey. That's why Trump got mad and said what he said about them not picking Shedeur. Okay, even though what he said is true. But the bottom line is Trump's mad at the NFL because he wants to be an owner. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's get back on track. So as I was saying, a bunch of these people, you know, they're just upset and mad. Now I'm going to go back to the video, restart the video so we can listen to a few more of these clips.
Chip on his shoulder and beware, because this guy's going to play in this league.
You may be wondering, how are the Browns fans responding to Shedeur Sanders being picked at the 5th round with pick 144? Let me show you.
Shedeur Sanders sliding to the 5th round. Many people projected him to be a first round. Some people had him like top 10 picks, right?
In some of these mock drafts, he was high up there now.
He's selected by the Cleveland.
Pop by a school in the Cleveland Metro School District and talk to some kids. No press release. To go out of his way to do something in the community like that so early in his Browns tenure.
I respect it a lot. I mean, it's crazy how people can hate on a guy like that. You know, I think that for him, he realizes that right now, before he takes a snap or anything for the Cleveland Browns, right now he has a ton of popularity. It's a lot of kids that's risked up, legendary. You heard him saying legendary. You know, those kids' lives will be impacted. Like, wow, man, we talked to Shedeur Sanders today? Like, you know, and maybe something he said in there, because at this point it's deeper than football. Maybe something he said in there, maybe one of those kids listened and they straightened up, or they was going down the wrong path and they met Shedeur, they heard what he said, and it was like, man, wow. And now they inspired them to change their ways. Like, that to me is much more impactful than anything he could do on the football field. And I think it was a powerful move.
Okay. No, I have to absolutely agree with that. Okay, that was awesome for him to go and visit those kids at the school. But hold on, listen to this. Now, I want you to hear. You see, that was the guy's take on it. He talked about that being impactful, how he, could have inspired those kids. That's exactly how I feel about it. But here's somebody who didn't feel the same. Clearly a hater. Let's talk about it, because Shedeur Sanders' rep got angry. He got in an angry feud with Cleveland radio host just days after Browns drafted Shedeur. Let's talk about it. So it's not taking long for Shedeur Sanders to stir up his first bit of controversy in his new home of Cleveland, as a local radio host has taken issue with a recent visit to a community high school. Sanders visited John Marshall High School on Wednesday, visiting with students before training at the campus. Okay, yet the meeting was questioned by ESPN Cleveland radio host Aaron Goldhammer, okay, who believed that Sanders only made the appearance. Please listen to this. A hater would say it. He believed that Sanders only made the appearance to get some good PR after slipping to the 5th round of last week's NFL draft. And here's what he had to say about it. Please pay attention. He said, I would have preferred that if he was going to go talk to a bunch of high school kids, that he didn't post it on social media 5 seconds after the thing was over. I felt like it was him screaming, see, everybody, look how good a person I am. I went to a school and then I worked out. I'm doing things the right way. I'm doing all the right things. Y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? Okay. Now, you know why this is all crazy? Because this is what this guy came up with. This is what he put together in his head. Okay? But what's interesting is that, guess what? He didn't do it for PR. You know, they offered to have the media come there and record the whole thing and put it on the local news. You know what Shedeur told them? No, thanks. They didn't need the media to come to record it. Okay? Please pay attention. But anyway, let me continue. Goldhammer continued saying that Sanders was not any rookie and his team posting content is different than the Browns doing it themselves. The issue with Goldhammer's take is that Sanders did not post his high school visit to social media. He didn't even do it. Someone else did. Okay, Hillian Boog Knight. He posted it. He's somebody on Shedeur's team. And he posted it on his own page. Okay? It wasn't even on Shedeur's page. It was on his own page, and people likely shared it, of course. He says, and here's what his rep said, Shedeur's rep. Or I'm sorry, the person who actually posted it. They said Shedeur did not post anything. I posted it. He didn't even ask me or anyone else to post anything. Nor did he ask for 100 cameras to be on him upon his entrance into the school. This isn't his first school visit. He's done many in various cities and states. This is just spewed hate. Well, it certainly is. Because I don't know how they didn't know. Or did they think that we didn't know or that we forget that Shedeur's going to plenty of schools? So what are they talking about? Before he was ever even drafted. Now, Knight has posted several of Sanders' previous visits to schools in response to Goldhammer's comments. So he dropped the receipts. Okay, so this isn't just talk. With both of his on-air co-hosts disagreed with him. So this radio host who was talking all this slick stuff, his own co-host didn't even agree with his sentiments. Now, another host from ESPN Cleveland, Emmett Golden, later posted to social media about Sanders' visit, stating students thought the new Browns quarterback was down to earth. They loved him. They felt like he was down to earth, okay? They say someone at the school informed Shedeur's people that they could have a local station cover his trip to James Marshall High School. They declined the offer. Now, Sanders joined a crowded quarterback room in Cleveland alongside Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and Deshaun Watson. At maximum, only 3 will make the team's 53-man roster to start the regular season, with Flacco and Watson near locks to hold 2 of those spots with their contracts. See, it's really interesting because these people are just coming out saying stuff and just throwing stuff to see what happens, okay? And they're just being making all the wrong assessments of this young man. Odd Negroes official said 144 is a biblical number. Yeah, I discussed all that the other day. I absolutely discussed that. That was no coincidence. That was not by happenstance that he was picked 144th. That's a very spiritual number in numerology, as I told you all the other day. And I always talk to you all about numbers on the spiritual channel, okay? That is a number representing your divine purpose, your spiritual enlightenment, and your spiritual journey, okay? So that all been said, this is his divine purpose, whether they like it or not. All right. They need to sit down. Now let's talk about his apparel, because as I was telling you all, it's sold out. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share. I mean, the haters are just so mad. But guess what, haters? You're going to get even more upset, okay, in the coming days. All right, the business of Shedeur Sanders gear sales out on website. Fanatics is also selling 9 different items for the 144th overall pick, more than any other 2025 draft choice. Okay, more than any other. Now, although Shedeur Sanders missed out on more than $40 million in salary from his fall in the 2025 NFL draft last week, he apparently made up some of that by becoming the only draft pick to sell his own gear. That's another thing they're mad about. Did y'all hear what Cam Newton said about that? Did y'all hear what Cam Newton said about that? Basically saying, oh, and he's out here selling merch and this, that, and the third. What's wrong with that? So he shouldn't have any other types of goals or dreams. Okay? And then I thought it was especially stupid when Cam said that he's got to put in the work and not be out here clout chasing and holding up his watch and all of this. It's time to show him what you can do. This young man's been working his whole life. That's why he is where he is now, since he was a little boy. Okay, so I don't know what Cam was even thinking. Okay, so it is not known how much was made. But all three items, a short and a long sleeve t-shirt and hoodie that were on his 21 or on his 2 legendary site were marked sold out as of Wednesday morning. Fanatics Fanatics confirmed to collect Wednesday that Sanders now has the #1 selling jersey among all 2025 draft picks across the company's network of sites, including the NFL shop and the Cleveland Browns official shop. Okay. Now, there were 9 options to buy items representing the 144th pick by the Browns. That's more offerings than any other pick except the #1 overall selection, Tennessee quarterback Cam Ward. Okay, now founder for Sanders, Fanatics is offering a white and a white alternate jersey, plus a brown jersey and youth, women's, and all that. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, everything's looking up. All right. So now let's go to Antonio Brown, because what in the world's going on with him? What is really going on? Okay. Songwriter says that Cam wears 4 days worth of clothes. Evelyn said Cam needs to worry about all of those baby mamas he got. Okay. Hilarious. Okay, so I'm going to go to this video, and let me say shout out to I Smoke Hip Hop Live, because this is a video that he compiled together. So it saved me the work of having to go dig up all these clips. Now, with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, let me get my overlay. Okay, here we go.
AB basically saying to Deion, you used AB. Deion Sanders used Antonio Brown. According to Antonio Brown, he's saying that Deion Sanders' sons are no good, including Shiloh. So he posted videos of Shiloh being ran through by him, I guess, on the field. Let's look at those highlights first.
Now, let me just say this. The video that he posted was from when Shiloh was in high school. This was like maybe 2019. I'm going to show you a video after, because he thinks Antonio Brown, that is, thinks that he was cooking Shiloh. And then I'll show you the video where Shiloh was cooking his ass, okay? He didn't post that one. Please pay attention.
My apologies, y'all. Hang on. I'm going to get AB out the way right quick. And I need y'all to let me know who you think is in the right and wrong after the fact.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you.
Killed it. Murder was the case. Killed it. Murder was the case.
I mean, even Deion Sanders is giving Antonio Brown against his son. Reminder, I tell y'all, this is when Shiloh was like a senior in high school. You feel me? Let's not forget that. And this is way back. So when I'm looking at Antonio Brown talking about in 2019, like, you get points for that, but it's not over yet. You know what I mean? It still gets a little bit more with the video footage.
You just throwing the ball right now. You just. Just throwing the ball right now. You just. Just throwing the ball right now. You just.
More footage, y'all.
Killed it. Murder was the case that they gave.
That part. See, AB don't get no respect for my side no more. I used to always be one of y'all. You know, you people who's mad at this video right now, defending this coward. You know, the AB, who started crying because the world was against him and he realized he's a typical, I'm not gonna call him a step infection because he ain't that. He calls everybody out, but I don't beat around the bush and act like it's something entertaining anymore. Because when he becomes another meme and y'all talking about rest easy, AB, see you on the other side. Nah, I don't wish that for him, but I ain't gonna mind my goddamn business. Because it was funny then, right? Do you remember this AB here who was crying to the world? He had a message for everybody.
Right now, to all the real AB supporters, just know I'm doing everything in my power to make you guys proud, man. I'm in school, I'm training, I'm visiting high schools. I'm gonna do everything to give back, you know. And if I could ever get back in the game, I gotta. So, time up, I'm gonna get back to work. Hope you guys having a beautiful day. Yeah, you guys follow the Patriots, tell them call me. They still gotta pay me, so might as well let me earn it. XFL never. That was not even a question.
That's you, sir. That's what you've become. Unfortunately, you've became a little minstrel show in front of the national audience. Now, I'm gonna still go in on AB, but before I do, let's read more and what he had to show out here. For him to show 2019 clips of Shiloh as if you get cool points for that, it speaks volume to this man's mindset and where he's at. Because for one, what did the Sanders family do to this guy? But we'll get into that, but let's keep going more. He says, Dion D. Ryder, use me, help. This dude is weird, bro. He don't even make sense in his grammar. Dion D. Ryder, use me, help his sorry blank sons. And to just say Dion sent, well, bro, I can't, bro. I'm not about to give it credence by actually acting like I even understood what he said, but we do. He said, Dion using me, help his sorry blank sons, CTE SPN. First of all, bro, your brand CTE SPN is a dime brand. You're trying to do a parody of ESPN, which I don't like ESPN anyway, so I rock with you with that. I don't got no beef with you, Antonio. You just embarrassed all your supporters who kept making excuses for you like me. We kept deflecting because I'm a South Florida boy. You a South Florida boy. You always in Lauderdale. You feel me? From the 954 to the 304. Part 2 that becomes trash, and then we know part 3 is coming to redeem itself for trash part 2 that couldn't really do what part 1 did. So your movie got one more good movie left in this terrible series. So the trilogy is gonna be the end, bruh, and it's gonna be a sad movie that
He said, and that's you, sir. Okay. Leon said, what is he smoking, honey? You know that I don't know what he was smoking, but probably CRACK, honey. Okay, please pay attention. At least that's how he acts. Gigi Sound said AB is a hater. Yes, he absolutely is. Okay, he absolutely is. That's just a fact. A sad one at that. Just a sad fact of the matter. Okay, please pay attention.
Okay, guys, as we well know, the embattled ex-superstar football player Antonio Brown put this tweet out about Shedeur Sanders, which was totally untrue, and I dropped a video yesterday showing you that it was untrue, but now he's dropped video of him cooking Shiloh Sanders when Shiloh was just a youngster, okay? And look at this. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what you think about these videos, but I got something that wasn't dropped. I got the video of Shiloh doing the cooking, and I want you to check this out. Shiloh. Yeah, Shiloh, we're going to see you in Tampa Bay cooking. You feel what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, leave a comment.
All right, now. So they say, in less than a week, former Colorado Buffaloes quarterback Shedeur Sanders' independent apparel line, Too Legendary, has completely sold out, fueled by a wave of fan support that continues to back the quarterback's personal brand over the NFL machine. over the NFL machine. Okay, before he's even taken a snap in the NFL, former Colorado Buffaloes quarterback Shedeur Sanders has done what many seasoned pros haven't done. Built a personal brand that sells out overnight. Y'all don't think this is cause for concern for some of the haters? Y'all don't think that some of them are pressed? Okay, Queen, can you do a show about King Leopold? Sure, beloved. Okay, now with that all being said, Sanders' personal apparel line, Too Legendary, officially sold out this week, just days after former Buffalo Bills quarterback was drafted, Okay, so we already know all of that. All right, so this is another reason why some people are mad, because who would criticize you for that? Okay, who would do that? Now, with that all being said, hold on, let me pull up this next clip. Chris Carter explains the reason. I think I already played Chris Carter. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Former Titans star takes a shot at Shedeur Sanders. Lights up, everybody. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on, I'm trying to cue this video, beloveds. A former Tennessee Titan has seemed to throw some shade towards Shedeur Sanders. Okay, I'm just going to read the article because the video is not playing for some reason. So, with that all being said, with the 2025 NFL draft in the past, the Tennessee Titans have a pretty clear look at what their roster will look like in the 2025 season. Most notably, they know who their new quarterback is going to be after taking Cam Ward with the #1 overall draft pick. Now, several current and former players have been weighing in on the selection of Ward. Most recently, former Titans tight end by the name of Delaney Walker joined a pair of his former Tennessee teammates, Will Compton and Taylor Lewin, on Bussin' with the Boys, where Walker told them why he liked the selection of Ward. Okay, saying the reason why I like that dude is he's humble. Pay attention. He said he's humble. Okay, let me tell y'all something. When somebody who don't look like us say that a black man is humble, they don't mean that in a good way. Okay, just so y'all know. They don't mean that in a good way. They just mean that you're a black person, a black man who bows down to them. Okay, that's what that means. That's humble to them. They can feed you humble pie and you'll gladly eat and ask for a second plate, a second helping. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, excuse me, he says, I like that dude. He's humble. Oh, he had 0 stars. Okay, everyone had to say 0 goddamn stars. I heard that 100 times. Who cares? The dude has been through so much, and to overcome everything that he's been through to be where he's at today. Now, I want you all to pay attention. He's had to come through. Yeah, I know he's black, but you know that a lot of these black people have the mindset of the other people, because this is what they do. They bow down and they bend. And then they feel like everybody else should do the same. And also, let's not forget what I told you all at the beginning of this broadcast. Some of these black men that are hating on him, they feel like, oh, I had to get it from the mud. I came from a single family household. Oh, I had to struggle. They didn't have to struggle. They're the sons of Deion Sanders. So they feel the same way as the Caucasian man. That's just what it is. Okay, let's not forget that the NFL is actually like a plantation, even as it goes to how they choose who's going to be on their team. Okay, now with that all being said, he says that dude, he's been through so much and has to overcome everything, and that he's been through to be here today. Walker added that he liked Ward. Okay, he liked that he showed up with a suit. Pay attention. He said he liked that he showed up in a suit with no chains or jewelry on. He said, I love that he didn't come with chains on, jewelry, or any of that. He came with a nice suit. That's the type of quarterback I want. I don't want to look at my quarterback and he looks like he's supposed to be in a rap video. I want the quarterback to look like he's the goddamn quarterback. Well, here's the thing. As long as he plays like he's the goddamn quarterback, I don't really care how he dresses, okay? As long as he's not indecent. All right, so please make it all make sense. Now, Walker seemed to be taking a shot at the former Colorado and now Cleveland Browns quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, who notably showed up to the draft in a lot of chains with a huge entourage. Ward and Titans will find out who the rookie will make his debut against in less than 2 weeks when the NFL schedule is released on May the 14th. Y'all hear that? What do y'all think? Said he doesn't want him looking like he's about to be in a rap video. Hilarious. Okay, another hater. But anyway, let me continue. Haters come in all different sizes, shapes, and colors. Okay, please pay attention. Now, CBS analyst recalls the time Shedeur Sanders missed a pregame obligation. And here's what he had to say about it. Negative reports about Shedeur Sanders are continuing to come to light. Yeah, I know they are. They can't help themselves. Okay, the former Colorado quarterback fell all the way to the 5th round of the last week's NFL draft after once being considered a top 5 overall selection. And in the days leading up to the draft, reports circulated about Sanders' attitude with coaches. One said that Sanders' formal interview was the worst, adding that the quarterback was entitled. Other reports have said that Sanders appeared disinterested in some meetings, notably with the New York Giants. Now that the draft has come and gone, one CBS analyst recalled that when Sanders skipped out on something he was supposed to be doing, saying they say star players, normally quarterbacks and coaches, often meet with broadcasters in the days leading up to a game. But before a game against Colorado State, Sanders skipped one of those meetings, according to CBS's Ross Tucker. So Tucker said that Sanders was initially supposed to speak with CBS on a Wednesday, but it was pushed back 2 days because he was getting treatment for an injury. Okay, so I think I have the clip from that where he's saying all this stuff. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Okay, great. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And this is Ross Tucker giving his thoughts on Shedeur. And I don't really agree with him, but of course, these are, in fact, his thoughts. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Give me your theory on Shedeur Sanders' slide.
Well, there's a couple things there. Number one, I think the biggest thing, then, and you know this, like the way you conduct yourself, the way you treat people, it matters, right? I haven't talked about this that much just because I don't think it's that big a deal, but it's a small story, right? So last year, I think I did that Colorado State game for CBS. I referenced it with Hunter, right? But I was doing Bills Dolphins on radio Thursday night for Westwood One. But I wanted to make sure I was locked in for the TV game. I flew out on Tuesday night to Denver. I was told that I could talk to Shedeur after Wednesday's practice for Colorado. I go to the practice. I'm in Boulder. After the practice, I'm told, well, he got banged up against Nebraska. He needs to get treatment. Can't meet with you, but he'll meet with you Friday at the production meeting. Okay, no problem. Go to Buffalo, do the game, fly back. Friday production meeting. We talked to Dion. He was great. The coordinators, no Shedeur. We weren't really given a reason, but we did not talk to Shedeur at the production meetings, which, as you know, starting quarterback, especially a high-profile player like that, very unusual. I walk out of the hotel, and there's a pickup truck in front of the hotel, and Shedeur's just sitting in the back of the pickup truck. And I kind of regret not going up to him and just introducing myself, hey, Shedeur, I'm Ross, nice to meet you. Or ask him why he didn't do the production meeting. But it just made me wonder, Dan, like people asked me, NFL people asked me after that game, what did you think of Shedeur? And I said, I didn't get to talk to him. Maybe he's the greatest kid ever. Maybe he's a bad kid. I don't know. But I told them the story and they just kind of nodded their head. And it just made me wonder, Dan, how many stories are there like that in which Shedeur did things that were not customary. He did things non-traditionally. It certainly seems like that was the deal with a lot of the combine interviews and meetings with teams. And especially at that position, I think it makes him very nervous that already in college, he was getting out of things that you're supposed to be doing. What's he going to be like if he's a first-round pick in the NFL draft?
But if he had Cam Ward's talent, would we be overlooking all of this?
If he had Cam Ward's talent, he still would have been a first-round pick. I think that the Titans would have taken Cam Ward instead of him, meaning the intangibles, the way he carries himself, that stuff matters. But if he was that talented, I believe the Browns at 2, the Giants at 3, they would have taken him. Because also, that's the other part of this. You're okay with having that level of attention if it's your top 5 pick, your starting quarterback. That goes along with that. Once the Giants decided they like Dart more than Shedeur, and the Saints decided they like Shuck more than Shedeur, which, by the way, a lot of people came on my show, the Ross Tucker podcast, and said they had Dart ahead of Shedeur or they had Shuck ahead of Shedeur, so I can live with those. But once those 3 teams made that decision, then he was only going to get drafted to be a backup. And we know this from Kaepernick, from Tebow. Nobody wants the most high-profile player on the team to be the backup quarterback. Nobody wants a lightning rod, polarizing backup quarterback. And I got to tell you, Dan, no, I have no proof of this. I'm convinced that Aaron Rodgers told the Steelers, hey, I'm coming. I'll play for you, but don't take the Sanders kid. Because Aaron doesn't want to deal with that. Aaron doesn't want the first time he has a bad game, people calling for the Steelers to put Shedeur Sanders in. Whether he said something or not, I will believe forever that Aaron Rodgers made it known to the Steelers he did not want Shedeur Sanders in that quarterback room and to have to deal with that in what might be his last year in the NFL.
I'll leave you with this. And the more I've thought about it, the more I'm surprised at this. They didn't have an agent for Shedeur. You have Dion, who is a big cheerleader for his son. His son is listening to his dad pump him up. His dad during Super Bowl week is talking about, I've talked to teams and, hey, I might be steering him in a different direction here. All of this is going on. There's nobody really to tell him what reality is because you're there at Colorado with your dad. You're driving an expensive car. You get to do what you want. Like, that's not reality. This is reality when you go to talk to somebody and they want to know who you are, not who your dad is. They want to know, can you do this? What am I getting here as a person? And that's what really surprises me, that it doesn't sound like somebody was there to be that voice who was going to be the contrarian, to say, hey, you didn't interview well. Hey, this is what I'm hearing. Because I think reporters were really nervous of giving the true story of what was going on. Because I think you had one who came out, maybe it was Todd McShay, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm hearing he had a bad interview. And the blowback was, oh, now we're coming out and going after Shedeur. I even said it on the show. It feels like there was a smear campaign going on quietly. And then all of a sudden now it's coming to the surface. But I kept thinking, where is this coming from? And then we finally found out there are some people attaching their names to what was going on. I'm just amazed they didn't have somebody who was going to play the bad cop to everybody's good cop in this situation.
Well, and not only that, Dan, you just made a fantastic point, because every guy with an agent, they get prepped for the combine interviews. So not only is it the part where he could have had someone to tell him the truth after the interviews or during the pre-draft process, it's pretty clear nobody told him how to conduct himself in those interviews, and he failed them miserably. I mean, I've had people say that he went into those interviews, Dan, as if he had the leverage, right? As if he was in control of the situation. Boy, that does not go over real well.
Yeah.
Those guys, imagine you interview 100 guys at the combine. Only one of them acts like his you-know-what doesn't stink and acts like he can control and say whatever he wants to say. He didn't have someone to prep him properly for those interviews, and it cost him dearly. I mean, we learned this spring how important the pre-draft process is for quarterbacks, especially with Quinn Ewers and these guys going down, Chuck and Gabriel going up. What you do in the spring, yes, after the season, it matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I was told that there was a scenario where Shedeur made the people interviewing him feel like, you got to recruit me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if I want to go to your team. Why don't you tell me why I want to go to your team? there was that sense of entitlement. Now, that was one situation. I don't know what happened elsewhere, but you're right. It does play.
Okay, so let me say something really quick before I get into my commentary. Moderators, I need you all to be paying attention. Do I have moderators in here or no? Let me see. Let me see. Do I have any moderators in here? Desmond. Okay, Desmond, you're driving. I know you're driving back from out of town, so don't worry about it. Let me see if anybody else is in here. Okay, so anyway, there was somebody in here by the name of Sam Harris who said in the chat, he said, I'm black and you Negro females or something, y'all are insane or something like that. Go get a job or whatever. I don't remember the whole comment, but I deleted it because first of all, don't come here disrespecting anyone, no matter what race they are. And second of all, let me just tell you all something, black folks. Anytime somebody says I'm black, they're lying. They're lying, and y'all know they're lying because we as black people, we never announce that we're black. That's what we don't do. Anytime you're ever on social media anywhere, I don't care what platform it is, and somebody drops a comment and says, well, I'm black, and then they proceed to say something negative about black people, that's not a black person. Because even people that are raccoons, they're not going to tell you they're black. They're just going to talk trash. When people come in here and they want to say something derogatory about black folks, and they preface it by saying, I'm black, and y'all black women, they're not black. Okay, those people will never have a profile pic, and they'll always tell you that they're black just to hope that you think that they are and won't think it's racism. Okay, wrapped up in a bow. Like, get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language. All right, I had to ban them. Y'all know I don't like to curse, but every now and then I will, honey, if you get me wrong. All right, coming in here being disrespectful, talking about black women don't like to work. What the hell are you even talking about? Okay, and I'm inclined to think if that's that racist ass devil who was stalking me, cyber stalking me on YouTube for years. Do I need to call the FBI on him again? Because they do have his IP address still. Okay, because I think that's who it was, because that's the kind of stuff that he would say. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's continue. Let's continue. So I'm going to go to this next clip, and then I'll give the closing commentary, and then we'll be out of here. Honey, some people just can't leave black folk alone. Black Gossip said it's okay. The NFL will be slapping itself when Sanders plays in the Super Bowl. I know his father already did, and I'm talking about baby Sanders. Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention to what that commentator just said. I want you all to pay attention to what that commentator just said. He was basically saying nobody was there to properly. Do y'all know why he used the word properly? Do y'all know why he put emphasis on that particular word? Because he's basically trying to imply that, yeah, Deion was there. For any of you that want to say Deion was there and y'all going to say Deion told him how to behave or whatever. That's why he used the word properly, because he's suggesting, in fact, that Deion didn't properly tell him how to behave, because Deion didn't teach him to bow down to the white man. Okay? That's what he was basically saying. Please pay attention and read between the lines. All right? Because that's what he was saying. Deion didn't tell him that he had to bow down. Okay? You know, in my opinion, and then somebody said that there is certain ways that you act when you go on a job. Well, of course there is. When you go on a job interview, but who determines how you behave on a job interview? You see, because things have changed. The world is changing and has changed. Now, back when I was younger, okay, when I was younger, like in my early 20s, if I went for a job interview, I would wear something dressy, like a blazer and some slacks or a skirt, but a blazer nonetheless. And we were told to wear dark colors, nothing bright, nothing with floral prints or print period, something solid in a dark color like navy blue or black. Okay, no open-toed shoes if you wear heels or whatever. They would tell us these things. Now it's different. Now these young people today, they don't even wear, suits to their interviews. They don't wear shirt and ties. They just wear whatever and go in there, and that's fine with the employers in many cases. But here's the thing. One thing that you should do when you go to an interview is be yourself. Be your authentic self. Okay? specifically if you're going for an interview like the one Shedeur went to, because you want people to know what they're going to get, and you want people to see the real you and know who you are. And you also want to be able to read the room or to find out after the fact if the people like your authentic self and who you are. Because guess what? Maybe they don't, and maybe that means you're not the fit for them. Now, you know, it is known, we all knew that Shedeur wanted to play for the Giants. That's why he was mentored by Tom Brady. And that's why his father, when he was asked about it once, you know, they asked him what team he wanted his son to go to. And he said, we're praying for the Giants right now. Maybe what they were praying for and what God wanted them to have, or what was really for them, wasn't in alignment. So sometimes it's things called divine intervention. And I can tell that Deion has likely taught his sons that. That's why they didn't get upset. I saw somebody said that Shedeur was probably hurt and broken down inside, or mad and angry, but he didn't show any of that, like he suppressed his feelings. That young man was not suppressing his feelings. Okay, he wasn't suppressing his feelings. He really was not upset, because he already said before the draft that the number didn't matter. Okay, that's what he already said. Sandra said, always dress for success. Honey, these kids these days, they don't really think about that. Okay, they don't really think about that. I mean, it's just the way the world's changing. Because another thing is, people used to dress up to go to church. Okay, the last time I went to church was about 10 years ago. Don't judge me. I still have a very good communication and connection to the Most High, so y'all can miss me with it. Okay, I talk to the Most High every day. We have full-on conversations. I don't have to go to church to do it. I can do it in my room, in my house, anywhere, outside, at the park. I can do it wherever. But some of y'all don't know that, but I do. But anyway, the last time I went to church, it was on Easter. Like I said, about 10 years ago, a friend invited me. I got all dressed up. When I got there, everybody was wearing jeans and sneakers. I was the only fool dressed up. So things are changing, okay? Things are changing. Now, with that all being said, Queen T said, show the interview. If it happened, they should have it on video. They did. CJ Stroud, bad ASA quarterback, and Lamar Jackson made them take a test. They don't make them white QBs take a test. No, they don't. Not to my knowledge, anyway. Okay, so anyway, let me go to the next clip, honey, because they're just going to be hating on this young man, but he's gonna have to prove to them, you know, that he's got the sauce, and he absolutely has it. He absolutely has it, and they're going to be looking real silly as far as I'm concerned. I can promise you that. Okay, Mad Dog Jackson, there's no dress code for church no more. Apparently so. Apparently not, beloved, but I didn't get the memo. That's all I'm saying. I didn't get the memo, honey. Please pay attention. Okay, so let me put my overlay on here.
Turns down talent. Deion's a detriment when it's his own son, but when it's Travis Hunter, the kid just no problem. He's second overall because it's his talent. League folks who are trying to teach the Sanders family a lesson. Oh my goodness, he's got this reality show, he's got that reality show. Deion's going to start talking. It just doesn't compute to me. Does this kid not get picked tomorrow?
There's no explaining. There's no talking about it, reasoning. Like, bro, it'd be funny, some of the memes, though. I went in the meeting, like, who was it, Bobby Shmurda? He was on the table.
Oh, yeah, when he was performing for the label.
They said that's how Shedeur must have pulled up to his business.
Want to know who really runs my 40-person company? It's not me, it's this person, my assistant. She schedules all.
It's an opportunity, we're going to get to work together, okay, buddy?
Yes, sir.
That's a thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You know what that means?
Thank you. Thank you.
So keep your phone on you, and then we'll be in touch soon about next steps and everything, okay?
Let me say hi to you.
All right, for sure. Okay. Is Mr. Berry there?
He is. You want to talk to him again?
Yeah, I would love to talk to him.
Yep, I got you.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Love you. Hey, shallow stream on up there?
Yeah.
You want me to start it? Yeah. Turn up.
It's a good time. It's can't be sad no more.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. He up there. Hold on, I'm gonna take you up there. Saucy T. Come on, Browns. Man, who they got? I don't know. There's a lot of talking going on right now, bro.
Hello? Yeah, I'm trying to see about who the Browns get into.
They're trying to run with the Browns. Yeah.
All right, so with that all been said, I'm about to conclude the broadcast, but I just want to wish these young men good luck. And hold on. I don't even know how Pilar can show her face. Those are her sons, though, but that divorce, she was crazy. Yeah, didn't her and her friend jump Dion? Didn't they jump Dion's arse? Okay, so anyway, Evelyn said, don't worry about it, Queen. They go to church on the wrong day. Honey, you know they do. You can't tell them nothing, though. All right, that was all started by the Council of Nicaea. Now, with that all being said, listen, Constantine, shall I say, Fly Gemini said, yes, they did. Okay. So listen, DJ Big Six said, keep their head on a swivel. I know that's right. I mean, the hate is ever so real, right? Anyway, you know, one of the things that bothers a lot of these people that had so much negative things to say is the fact that Shedeur never once looked sad. He never once looked angry. He never once said anything negative. He never once, you know, even tried to ridicule anybody who made the memes about him. Look how he just was talking about the Bobby Shmurda meme. He was laughing. He said that's the meme they had of him, saying that's how he pulled up to the interviews. And that is how they were acting. That is how they were acting. But you know what? Think about the video that I did the other day when we heard Shedeur say, you know, that there's always going to be haters. And he's been prepared for that. He said it comes with the name. His father's already taught them that. Okay, so these people can't break his stride. They can't break his spirit. They can't make him feel bad about himself. They can't take away who he already knows who he is. Okay? And so anyway, that's what they can't do. Queen T says Shedeur jersey sold out. He's the top selling jerseys. Every Shedeur fan goes, I would be a fan and leave his mom alone. That's her child, period. Yeah, I don't think anybody really said anything about his mom. I don't think anybody really said anything negative about Pilar. But yeah, we did talk about how his jerseys are sold out. You know what I'm saying? There's several items on the website sold out. And like I told you all the other day, see, that worked because many people purchased from his site before they purchased from the NFL. Okay, so I'm sure that's why the site sold out. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, you know, like I said, the haters are always going to be mad. He's just going to have to show and prove, and he's going to be just fine. But they're upset right now because they couldn't break his stride. And this all comes from the hate that they have for Dion. That's what it is. There's a whole lot of hate for Dion because Dion's viewed as arrogant, cocky, and Dion speaks and stands up for himself at the end of the day. Okay. DJ Big Six says Pilar is troubled. I don't know much about Pilar, but I do remember them saying that her and her friend tried to jump Dion. That's all I'm saying. All right. So anyway, with that being said, that's all in the past. So likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you all for tuning in. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. All right. And I can't wait for the season to get started. Shedeur is going to be starting. They've already been talking about that. They've already been talking about that. And I'm going to tell you what the Browns did. I'm going to tell y'all what the Browns did. For them to be even talking about, now please pay attention. Andrew said the NFL is 100% rigged anyway. Well, I believe it is. I mean, Tom Brady winning those 7 Super Bowls and flattening footballs and all of that. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that to a degree. Mm-hmm. The NFL and the NBA too, in my opinion. All right. And boxing too, probably. Who knows? Okay. Who actually knows? Miss Drill Sergeant says Cam Newton had a lot of problems in the NFL. Nan just said a whole lot of anticipation has been built up to watch Shedeur play. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't wait. Okay, I was about to tell you all something, but y'all got me off track when I started reading these comments. So quite frankly, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, I'll see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call. All right. So DJ Big Six said, yes, they're all rigged. Buckhurst DC said, Tom Brady, you bastard. Why are you going in on Why are you going in on Tom Brady? Miss Drill Sergeant said, Cam, let's talk about you attending buff games to distract Shedeur. Queen T said, and Tom Brady calling himself a mentor and could have drafted him with the Raiders and didn't. I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I'm not either. I've never liked Tom Brady, to be honest. I've never liked him. Matt Q said, bet he gets them seats filled. I absolutely agree. Okay, Needles and Mike's World said, come to Cleveland. We want you, baby, okay? So anyway, like I said, the haters can hate. At the end of the day, we're going to see how it all plays out. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you all. Okay, so listen. The Browns think they're slick, okay? Because here's the thing. They're already talking about Shedeur possibly starting, right? So it's very unusual for a 5th round pick to be the starter, okay? Now, so it just makes me wonder, did they just wait, okay, to pick Shedeur in the 5th round so they can give him a cheaper contract and still want him to start? I have several questions because maybe they feel like they spent too much on Deshaun Watson's contract. So now they're trying to cut corners. What do y'all think? Somebody let me know. What do y'all think? I think that's what they did. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that's what they did, because how do you pick somebody 5th round, okay, and then the person you pick before him, you're going to let Shedeur possibly start before them? Okay. Andrew said the NFL is run by gematria. Honey, everything in Hollywood, the music industry, NFL, NBA is all run by gematria. Please pay attention. Okay. Please pay attention. So that all being said, I think that's what it was. Because if I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me just look it up real quick. Right. Deshaun Watson's contract with the Cleveland Browns is a 5-year contract for $230 million, fully guaranteed. Signed in 2022. Signed in 2022. RG Titan said they definitely saved money by putting Shedeur on that cheap deal. Yeah, that's what they did. It was on purpose. Okay, it was on purpose. Okay? It was absolutely on purpose. All right, that's just my opinion. All right, that's my opinion, because hold on. Hold on, beloved. Let me see here. What's that other young man's name? Dylan something that the Cleveland's picked. Dylan Gabriel. Okay, now he was 3rd. Picked by Cleveland 3rd for a QB position, 94th pick. Shedeur was picked 5th round, 144. So why would they be suggesting that even possibly, thank you, DJ Big Six, yes, Dylan Gabriel. Okay, so why would they be saying that Shedeur might be starting but they didn't even mention Gabriel. He was picked 1st. So yeah, that's what really makes me think that they tried to get him for a cheaper deal, okay? I'm sorry, they spent too much money on Deshaun Watson's contract. And so this is what they did. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I could be wrong. Okay, Needles and Mike's World said, forget Deshaun rubbed down Watson. He was mad about that deal. And let me say this too. Hold on, I forgot to tell you all this. This is what Coach Prime posted after Antonio Brown was talking all the slickness. He said, at AB84, love you, man, and I appreciate you, my brother. I will never publicly or privately speak negatively on you, man, regardless of what's said. You know I know you, and I'm holding on and praying for the AB I know. Do y'all hear this? Now, I'm sorry. How in the hell can anybody call Deion or his sons arrogant? Okay, do y'all hear what he said to AB after AB talked all that trash about not only him, but his sons? I'm sorry, you talk shit about my sons, baby. I'm going in. I'm coming for your neck. I'm coming for your head. Okay? I'm coming for you, period. And it ain't going to be nice. But this is what Deion said. I love you, man. I appreciate you, my brother. I would never publicly or privately speak negatively. Okay, that's what he said about somebody who disparaged him and his sons. Nobody can tell the truth and say that this man is arrogant. He is not. He is just simply confident, but he is very humble. Okay, and here's what some of the Cleveland Browns players posted. Let them all hate, fam. You know what you got in you. And then Denzel Ward posted saying, at Shedeur Sanders, time to be legendary. Let's do it. Okay, so they're ready for him. The players have already chosen their side. Okay, they've already chosen their side. And so have we. Okay, that's what it is. I'm going to be tuned into every game, just like I was with Colorado when he was playing. Okay, so anyway, with that, I've been said, love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. And with that all being said, y'all, tomorrow is jury selection for the Diddler. Y'all hear what the Queen is saying? Man, I cannot tell y'all how ready I am. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Diddy all next week, surely. Diddy and Trump, okay? Diddy and Trump, oh, and Shannon. I got some information on Shannon. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. We'll get into it tomorrow. Okay, so anyway, everyone enjoy the rest of the day. And I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got